Hey, Dale, excuse me. Dale, I'm all set? I'd like to call to order the Town Council regular session, and the date today is March 28th, and the time is 7:45. Would you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag? Thank you. Dale, could we have the roll call, please?
Council President Whaley,
Here.
Council Vice President McAtee,
Here.
Councilwoman Eddy,
Here.
Councilwoman Fogarty,
Here.
Councilman O'Neill,
Here.
all members present.
Thank you. We have the approval of the minutes of previous meetings. We have the work sessions of March 7th and March 14th. Do we have a motion?
Make a motion to approve work session meetings of March 7th and 14th.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries 500. We also have the regular session of March 14th.
Move approval of the minutes from the regular session of March 14, 2011.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries 500. Would any town council person like anything removed from the consent agenda?
Hearing nothing, I make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
We have a motion, a second. Ready to vote? All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
Abstention? Motion carries 500. Which brings us to licenses. We have a resolution granting a victualling license to PD's Pizza Incorporated, 1202 Kingston Road, Peacedale, Rhode Island. Application by Jacob S. Kimborian, 219 Cole Avenue, Providence. And do we have Jacob here? Welcome, if you could come to the mic. If you could tell us a little bit about your business, that would be great.
Yeah, Petey's Pizza. I purchased Petey's Pizza over at Kingstown Road, and just completed my ServSafe course, and been in the restaurant business for 15 years. Had a restaurant in Bellingham, Mass, and now I live in Providence, and I'm owner-operator over there, and try to continue to make good quality product for the area here.
Thank you, Jacob. I'm just going to ask if there's any questions here at the table. Polly?
Are you going to deliver?
Oh, we deliver everywhere. I think we even deliver here once in a while.
And is there anything special about your pizzas?
Well, we make it fresh every day, fresh dough, fresh sauce. That's what we strive for. And so I'd like to keep that going and try to market myself better with the chamber. I joined the chamber and try to help out the community as much as I can, get my name out there.
Okay. Kathy?
You want to tell everybody at home what your hours of operation are so you can get some business.
My hours of operation are Monday through Thursday, 10 to 10, and Friday and Saturday, 10 to 11, and Sunday, 10 to 10. And we have a website now, pedie'spizza.com. So,
What's your phone number? Somebody might be hungry right now.
789-0000.
Oh, that's a
Good number.
Jacob.
Wow, that's easy.
The number's worth some money.
I'm going to remember that. You know that?
Yeah, it's a good number, definitely.
How did you, was that a continuing number, or you just called up and asked them for a range of numbers and that's sitting there for you?
That was in place when I bought the business.
Oh.
And I know as a business owner, especially with pizza, it's important to have those numbers in place. So you're almost buying the number
Yeah,
in some regards. So.
save a tree, don't need any paper. Silly question, PD's, I assume that means Peacedale's Pizza? What does, or is there another?
Yeah, it was changed. Peter Segaroulis, who owns the
Oh.
property, used to be PJ's Pizza.
That's right. Gee.
And then he changed, and now he's PJ's Pub. So the last owner changed it to PD's Pizza. Keep the name in Peacedale.
All right, thank you.
You have the personality to go with your business.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
So,
Any wood-fired oven pizzas, or is it all the big,
We use the Blodgett ovens, yeah. Yep.
Okay, further questions?
I move approval of License A.
We have a motion and a second. Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries. Best of luck, Jacob.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
We'll stop by.
Please do.
We have a second license tonight. We have a resolution granting a holiday sale license to SWJ Incorporated, doing business as Psychic Kitty, 593 Kingstown Road, Wakefield, Rhode Island, subject to approval by the Fire Chief and Communications Superintendent, application by Carolyn Blachars, and I'm not sure I said that name right, but is anybody here to represent Psychic Kitty? I don't see anyone, so we can move this further along or to the next agenda.
She was supposed to be here, I don't know where she is.
Okay, maybe she's just coming late, so if we see someone come in, we'll ask. Otherwise, April 11th. And then we also have another license, a resolution granting a private detective license to James P. Mullen, 40 Malbone Street, Warwick. Application by James P. Mullen, 25 Little Rest, Kingston, Rhode Island.
Mr. Mullen contacted my office today. He won't be able to make a meeting until April 25th.
Thank you, Dale. Okay, that takes care of our licenses.
Make a motion to continue.
Second?
Okay, we're doing B and C. Want to do B? Or do you want to wait on B and just do C now? In case she comes? Okay, so this motion is for C. We have a motion and a second. Further discussion? All in favor? I'm sorry,
so-
Jim?
Yeah, Dale, is this a new application, or is this,
This is new.
it is new?
That the private detective?
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, further questions? Ready to vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries 500. And we'll come back to the other. Which brings us to communication, item 7A. We have a communication received from Timothy O'Neill, President, Middlebridge Association, and from area residents Kelly King, Catalina Martinez, and Leo and Alice Derry concerning traffic calming measures to reduce speeding on Middlebridge Road are received, placed on file, and the town council further directs.
We discussed this at the work session, and we decided to refer it to the police department for further review. And I see Captain Jaber out there. So good to see you, Joe.
Oh, please. Please come forward. That would be great. Thank you.
My name's Joe Jaber. For those of you who don't know me, I'm captain with the South Kingstown Police. I know the chief is usually here. I did receive a communication from Andy Notter on the speeding on Middlebridge Road, the Tuesday, the 22nd. And since that time, we have had a total of probably 14 to 16 posts on the road for the last 5 days. We've run radar during commuting times. We have given out probably in the vicinity of 15 warnings, 2 tickets, and the officers have taken the time to clock the vehicles in the area. The average speed for those 5 days is probably in the area of 30, 35 miles per hour. So they have been out there, they have been running the radar on a regular basis, and they've been there every day for the first and second shifts, which run from 7 to 11 at night. So I just wanted to let you know they're out there and they're doing the best they can, slowing the traffic down. So there haven't been that many that were high enough to give tickets to.
Questions here at the table? Jim?
Yeah, is there any way to measure summer traffic, trying to get around the Route 1 issues versus during the school year with URI? Has there been any measurement comparison over the last few years?
Not that I know of. Not that I know of, no. Probably more traffic during the summer and during the school URI, people cutting through. But,
It's got a nice weekend, you try to avoid Route 1, and so
yes,
you certainly pick it up on Middlebridge.
yeah, definitely.
Further questions for Captain Jaber? Well, I'm sure the families are very appreciative of all the work, and we are too, Captain Jaber. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Motion and second, further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries 500. We have a communication dated March 15th, 2011, from Joseph P. Matthews, Assistant Scoutmaster, Troop 44, Matunic, requesting letters of congratulation to William H. Law III, Zachary T. DeLuca, Andrew H. Chin, and Nicholas J. Meehan for attaining the rank of Eagle Scout, and inviting council members to present the letters at their award ceremony on April 30th, 2011, is received, placed on file, and the town council further directs. So I know that
We're gonna check the time on that. I think Ella, you.
I'm going to call Joe Matthews, the Scoutmaster, and get the time, and I know I'm going to try to attend if anybody else could make that. Eh.
I also plan to attend.
And I think that Dale will also thank you, Dale, for getting what their Eagle projects are so that we can personalize that. So it's always an honor when we have more Eagle Scouts in our town. Be very interested to hear what their projects have entailed.
I move approval of Communication B.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries 500. We have a resolution adopted March 9th, 2011 by the Burrillville Town Council requesting support for 2 House bills relating to education. 2011, we have the House 5433, Foundation Level School Support, and 2011 House 5455, Certification of Personnel, and 2011 House Bill 5461 relating to town council, towns and cities, general powers concerning background checks for recreation department employees or volunteers are received, placed on file, and the town council further directs. Yeah.
About this in the work session, that we are going to endorse the House Bill 5433 as a council, and that we're going to place on file the second H5455 and the third H5461 on file. So that was our motion.
Thanks,
My
Kath.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries 500. We have a communication dated March 15th, 2011 from Senator Sue Sosnowski requesting that a public informational meeting be scheduled to discuss the closing of the Dugway Bridge is received, placed on file, and the council further directs.
We discussed this at the work session. I believe we're going to, Steve, we're referring it to you to try and get more information regarding the Dugway Bridge and a possibility of state funds from DOT.
And possibility for a meeting on May 16th. But Steve has been working diligently collecting more information, and we thank you for that.
I certainly don't want those folks out there to think we're not thinking about this situation, to be that isolated. I mean, 5 minutes is 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 10 minutes, but very important that we get this thing back into some kind of a forward gear.
Okay, so do we have a motion to direct that back to Steve? He's been working on it.
I so move to approve Communication G.
Second?
Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries 500. Which brings us to a resolution adopted March 17th, 2011 by the Gloucester Town Council requesting legislation to amend Rhode Island General Laws 16-7-23 entitled Community Requirements, Adequate Minimum Budget Provision that would prevent a regional school district from presenting an overall budget that reflects prior year debt service which is no longer occurring, is received, placed on file, and the Town Council further directs.
We talked about this in the work session also, Ella, and we decided that we were going to place this on file.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries 500. We have a communication dated March 16th, 2011 from Thomas B. Gents, President, Charlestown Town Council, requesting consideration of their resolution that the state-owned Charlestown and Quanachitog breachways in Charlestown and the Weekapaug Breachway in Westerly be designated as state channels is received, placed on file, and the Town Council further directs.
We discussed this during the work session, and we decided we would like to meet with them if possible on May 23rd.
We have a motion for May 23rd, place this on file, or to support this. And do we have a second?
Second?
We have a motion and a second, further discussion. Jim?
Yeah, awfully important, just so everyone is reminded that Green Hill Pond is subject to the Charlestown Breachway, the flow. And I'm going to ask Steve one more time to help me out with what actually happened a few years ago with the dredging. I remember the big, the compressors they had. I remember the steel pipes pushing the sand out on the beach. But did they actually complete that job? Did the feds do it, or was the state in charge of it, and then the maintenance fell onto the state's responsibility, Coastal Resources? Thank you, Steve, for your help.
You don't need any help, you've got it. My recollection is that the Federal Corps of Engineers had a contract through CRMC to do the dredging. The dredging was completed. I think what Charleston's question is there maintenance dredging that's being done to be able to keep the flushing action the way it was after that major job was completed? And I believe that what Charleston is attempting to do is to get the state to recognize the maintenance function that's required to keep those breachways clear.
Was there any funding connected with that, with the maintenance effort?
No, I believe that as a condition of accepting the initial grant, the contention is that the state assumed a responsibility for the continued maintenance dredging. And I think that's what Charleston wants to determine whether or not they can get a commitment from the state to designate the breachways as state right-of-ways that the state has full responsibility for maintenance of. See, it's not just the maintenance. Without having the maintenance done, it affects what's upstream. It affects the eelgrass area that becomes inundated, and we lose the eelgrass in those areas. It also deals with what the level of pollution is that is within the ponds because of the lack of flushing that occurs. So I think that certainly what Charlestown is asking is very important, particularly for Charleston and the Westerly Breachway. But I think it's equally important for South Kingstown, since the only flushing action that occurs for Green Hill Pond is via the Charleston Breachway.
All right, thank you.
Ella?
Kath?
In the work session, I thought that we were going to send out a letter that we support the work that that Charlestown Town Council is going to do, and that if they want to meet with us, they don't have to meet with us on May 23rd.
If,
You're right, Kathy, yeah.
I had that written down, so I just wanted to qualify if that's what we wanted to do.
all right, so you want the town clerk to be able to send to Charleston a recognition of their resolution that the town council in South Kingstown is supportive of it.
That's what we talked about.
We did.
But
we
that you're
did
still
state-
willing to have them come in on the 23rd if they wish to.
Right.
If they still need to meet with us, that's fine.
That's fine.
On the 23rd?
On the
On the
23rd.
May 23rd.
We agree with their
Their
assessment.
memorandum indicated that the next time their council was meeting that was in sync with South Kingstown's meeting was May 23rd, so they'd be available that night.
So yes, I guess is what we're going to change it to, yes, and if they do need still to meet with us, we'll keep the date open. We'll let them decide, I guess.
Okay, we're in agreement? Okay. Are we ready to vote? Do we have a motion and a second on that one?
I'll second.
Any further discussion? Okay, ready, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries 500. Which brings us to comments from interested citizens. Has the town council been to any town functions recently that they'd like to share? Things have been quiet. Any town functions that any town council has been to? Things have been quiet?
Do you want to make a comment of some sort?
I was hoping folks at home had a chance to look at yesterday's newspaper, just to know what South Kingstown was front page of the newspaper, titled as a town grows into a suburb, its character changes. But it'll give everyone an idea of just how complicated, how busy we are, and how important a lot of our duties are. Really describe the situation in South Kingstown over the many, many years, and how we try to look at maintaining our charm as well as handling the growth that we need. So always a delicate balance, but I think on the whole, we do a pretty good job. So, but anyway, it's important. Everyone should read that. We should
Yeah, it was a
post
good
that.
article. It's a
Post
very
that
good article.
downstairs. Thank you,
Yes.
Ella.
I think the latest thing that I went to was the Romeo and Juliet by the Contemporary Theater. I think that was the last thing that I went to.
I think I was there with you.
Yes.
It was very
It was
good.
excellent. Okay, so that comments from interested citizens, which brings us to town manager's report. Steve?
Two items. First is I've provided the council with a memorandum dated March 23rd, providing final details on motor vehicle excise inventory tax roll. The council needs to make a decision relative to a question that has been out there during the entire budget process as to how the council would address motor vehicle value exemption in the 2011-2012 budget. When we began the process back in December, I provided the council with an opportunity to see what the rate differentials would be. And I advised at that time that it was approximately a 24-cent differential if the council were to change from the current year's $500 exemption to a $3,000 exemption for each vehicle. The information that's contained in that March 23rd packet, I think is important in advance of the April 13 and 14 public hearings. In fact, what I did was prepare the ads for public disclosure that need to be published in advance of those public hearings, and provided both alternatives to document what tax rate projections would be if it were to stay at $500 and if it were to, or if it were to increase to $3,000. As noted in the memorandum, the overall tax levy is not changing. What was in the manager's budget, what was adopted in the council's budget remains unchanged. It's still approximately $621,000. What would change is where the property tax levy would come from. Whether, and it's approximately $1 million that would come from real estate rather than motor vehicles with the change from the $500 to the $3,000. Based on the updated roll estimates, and again, the roll estimates are going to continue to be updated as we go through June 15th. Right now, the forecasted roll with a $500 exemption would be at $14.30. If the council were to go to the $3,000 level, they would reduce $1,030,000 from the motor vehicle roll that would then be returned to the real estate roll, and it would mean the real estate rate for real property and personal property would need to increase to $14.54. These estimates are quite similar to what was provided back in December, other than the unanticipated loss of the $18 million in personal property between Cox and APCC. So I think that that information needs to be in the public domain, will be a discussion point for the public hearings on the budget, preliminary budget, which is scheduled for the 13th and 14th. So I present that just as an information item tonight. The second item that I wanted to bring reference to is on March 29th, tomorrow night, 7 o'clock in the council chambers. Council has a joint work session scheduled with the Coastal Resources Management Council. The entire Coastal Management Council has been invited to attend the meeting, as well as the coastal management staff. Also, the local legislators have been personally invited to attend the session, as well as each of the ocean-abutting property owners on Matunic Beach Road, as well as a block ad inviting the general public to attend that meeting. I've provided the council with a number of background material items relative to that meeting. I think that one of the key pieces of correspondence that I've forwarded to you is Ray Nickerson's March 23rd meeting, where I've asked Ray to provide a general foundation for the council's discussion points, as well as some of the next steps that are necessary both for the town and next steps that are necessary in terms of CRMC activity. So hopefully that document will be helpful to the council in carrying forward the discussion for tomorrow night. But that session is at 7 o'clock tomorrow.
Steve, have we heard back from anyone? Do we have a full slate of representatives and senators that are coming?
At this point, I don't have a head count on as to who will be attending. We're going to look to get better detail on that, just so that we know how we need to set up the room.
Great.
I have heard that many of the people from Matunic are planning on attending. Obviously, Joyce's Pub and Ocean Mist, both of them have said they were coming, and other people who live in the area, so.
Yeah, the one thing I want to make clear is that tomorrow night is a general discussion which will not deal with any specific administrative actions that the coastal staff has taken. That can't occur tomorrow night because having the Coastal Resource Management Council, that would be the appeal board that would hear any grievances from the property owners that may have received administrative sanctions, would put them into a position where they could not comment or address those issues. So one of the things we've made specific within the agenda itself is that no discussion of specific enforcement actions or applications for relief will be considered tomorrow night as part of the discussion. It'll have to be ruled out of order. But that's for CRMC board's protection in terms of what their legal requirements are and going forward, as well as a courtesy that we need to extend with bringing that that agency in for the work session.
Jim?
Yes, Steve, well, just, again, this is the town council's work session. I hope we get some good attendance from the folks that live down there. A lot of times we have these meetings, and there's no time left over for them. So, but this is our request. They're coming down, and I really think we should hold court and have our citizens be the ones that ask the questions. I certainly want the reps and senators there, but it's our work session, and we're doing this on behalf of those individuals and businesses in Matunic. So I want to give them every opportunity. And I just, again, Ella, you'll be in charge of this tomorrow, but hopefully we'll have a good turnout. I want to give them the opportunity to either talk about their frustrations or what we're doing right and wrong, and really hear from our constituents.
Right, and I have a clarifying question, Jim. Usually a work session, the public, watches us work and has questions at the end. So are you requesting a different format? Is that, I just want to clarify.
Nope. What I'm asking to do is that we, again, it's our work session, and hopefully we will have plenty of time at the end, so all of them get to ask their questions. Too many times, 9 o'clock, people's hands are up out there. We can't do that. This is our meeting, our work session, on behalf of our constituents. So we need, hopefully they'll show up. If they don't show up, then we'll be talking all night. But I just don't want the reps and senators to take over. I want to hear what we're doing right and wrong down at the beach.
It'll be a hearty dialogue between, everybody at the table, and there'll be equal speaking time, and at certain points, we could even go to the audience for questions. Otherwise, we'll hold them till the end.
Okay, thank you.
Okay?
I have nothing further.
Thanks, Steve. Town Solicitor's report? Any questions? Okay. Appointments. We did not talk about this at the work session, but that canvassing authority, Christine Bishop Chapman, we can put this off till next time. She has been reported that the Republican Town Committee has endorsed Ms. Chapman's reappointment. So I don't know if you want to move forward, or do you want to?
Yeah, let's move forward with that, because the majority party has a 2 in place, and the minority gets the 1, so.
Right, and we were going to move on that before, but we were just waiting for Dale to hear back from the Republican Party, so we were going to move forward with that one before. So do we have a motion for? Okay, Christine Bishop Chapman. We have a
Second.
motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries 500. And I will just comment that we do have our zoning board that will be moved for a vote, our last meeting in April. So it has been a request to move that vote, not for that vote not to happen today, and Polly will not be here at the next meeting, so it will take place at the last meeting in April. So they, according to our charter, they are officially still working for the zoning board.
Yeah,
Until they're replaced. So, which brings us to new business. Item D. We have a resolution authorizing an award of bid to J.H. Lynch & Sons Incorporated, 270 North Road, P.O. Box 3700, Peacedale, Rhode Island, for the Matunic Schoolhouse Road Phase 1 road reconstruction project in an amount not to exceed $787,704, including a contingency and as further described in a memorandum from the Public Service Director to the Town Manager dated March 21st, 2011, and entitled Bid Recommendation Matunic Schoolhouse Road Phase 1 Road Reconstruction Project. Steve?
5 bids were received on this road project. The Phase 1 of the Schoolhouse Road reconstruction will go from Green Hill Beach Road to Matunic to Moonstone Beach Road. Based on the prices that came in and the use of federal dollars, what we need to do is to ensure that the entire amount of federal dollars is spent on this road project. So what we will do is to extend the project east of Moonstone Beach until we reach the $757,704 that's available through the federal grant program. Phase 2 of the of this road project would be from Moonstone to Matunic Beach Road. So what we'll do is get a piece of Phase 2 done under this contract based on a very low price in it that was bid on this project. We had 5 bids that were submitted. The prices ranged between the low bid of $709,000 and the top bid of $970,000. Because the bid is set up on a materials and quantity basis, what we're doing is using the unit prices that has been bid based on what the projected linear distances are and the material quantities that will be needed to complete the job. The job will also require, because of the federal stimulus dollars that are being used here, will require a full-time construction inspection. That construction inspection is also on the agenda tonight and would be a separate bid authorization that the council is being requested to address. The project will provide for the pulverization reclamation of the existing pavement surface, as well as some minor drainage improvements. This is a major road project within the road improvement program, and we were fortunate to be able to use the $757,000 that came forward from the federal stimulus dollars. We had hoped to be able to get this road project completed last fall. Based on state requirements and approvals that needed to be in place, the road project couldn't go forward last fall. The state approved extending it to a springtime construction, so that's where we are tonight. So I'd recommend award of the bid as presented on the agenda this evening and in accord with John Schock's memorandum of March 21st.
Seeing no questions, then I move for approval of new business resolution D.
We have motion and a second. Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries 500. New business item E, we have a resolution authorizing an award of contract to Geyser Engineering Corporation, 227 Wampanoag Trail, Riverside, Rhode Island, for Matunic Schoolhouse Road Phase 1 engineering inspection services in an amount not to exceed $31,000, and is further described in a memorandum from the Public Service Director to the Town Manager dated March 21st, 2011, and entitled Matunic Schoolhouse Road Phase 1 Resident Inspection Services. And I'm going to turn this over to John.
Thank you. As the manager indicated, because this has federal funding, we're required to have full-time resident inspection on the project. We are able to ride the state master price agreement that the Department of Administration solicits bids for inspection services. We evaluated the engineering consultants on that list, and our recommendation is to go with Geyser Engineering. Geyser is primarily a geotechnical engineer and does materials testing. This project will require a number of compaction tests throughout the course of the project. In addition, we also need to certify the mix at the asphalt plant. Fortunately, Lynch is right here in Peacedale. Now, we're going to try to use, I've already talked to the general manager at Lynch. We're going to try to coordinate this project with another state DOT project, because if that happens, the DOT inspector will be at the plant, but in the event the inspector isn't there, we're going to have to bring our own inspector in to analyze the mix, and that's certainly within Geyser's domain. I mean, they're well-respected, probably, one of the better geotechnical engineers in the state. And again, we've got concurrence from DOT to be able to use them through the master price agreement for this project.
Great. Any questions here at the table?
I move approval of new business item E.
Second?
We have motion and a second. Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries 500. New business item F, a resolution authorizing an award of bid to East Coast Construction, 202 Chase Road, Portsmouth, Rhode Island, for the Factory Pond Dam Repair Project in an amount not to exceed $202,000, including a contingency, and is further described in a memorandum from the Public Services Director to the Town Manager dated March 21st and entitled Factory Pond Dam Reconstruction Bid Award Recommendation. And I just want to thank John. Thank you for new business item E. Steve?
10 bids were received on the redevelopment of the dam at Factory Pond. Lowest bid received and lowest qualified bidder certified is East Coast Construction from Portsmouth. Reviews have been made as to work experience with this contractor. GZA Geoenvironmental, who's the consulting dam engineer and developed the specs for this job, has done a review and has recommended acceptance of the East Coast Construction bid as presented. The bid price is $172,000 with a $30,000 contingency that's been added to that bid price. Recommend authorization as presented in John's March 21st memorandum.
Motion to approve new business item F.
Second?
Motion is second. Further discussion? Jim?
Yes, Steve, the funding on this, is this well covered, and where's it all coming from? Just so the folks at home will know.
A portion of the dollars will come from the, from a grant that was received, a $25,000 grant that was received from CRMC from Estuary Habitat Restoration Fund. There's also money that's been set aside for FEMA spillway repairs, resulting in about $51,500, and the remainder will come out of the retained earnings in the water fund itself.
Thank you.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. Further discussion? Ready to vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries 500. Now, I'm going to go
Let
back
me
to...
restate, I said 51,000. That 51,000 was both grants together. The monies that came from FEMA was 26,548. I apologize.
Thank you. And I'm going to go back to License B. Can we have a motion to carry that to the April 11th meeting? We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries 500. Which brings us to new business item 13. We have a closed executive session pursuant to Rhode Island General Law 42-46-5A5 to discuss matters related to the acquisition or lease of real property for public purpose and/or of the disposition of publicly held property wherein advanced public information would be detrimental to the interest of the public. Could we have a roll call vote, please?
Council President Whaley,
Yes.
Council Vice President McAtee,
Yes.
Councilwoman Eddy,
Yes?
Councilwoman Fogarty,
Aye.
Councilman O'Neill.
Yes.
Unanimous affirmative vote to adjourn to close executive session at 8:27.
Thank you.